Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Build Live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing? I hope you are well. You join us here on what is Remembrance Sunday in the UK, so Remembrance-related projects it is. Project. No, projects. We'll do two. Why not? And good evening, Richard. How are you? I hope you are well. One of those models is not like the others. Indeed, and it is, of course, Remembrance, because it's a loco, and the others are vans. Yeah? And good evening, Thomas. How are you? I hope you are well. A lovely seat. Indeed, it came down off the display along with its plaque, which I suppose I can get a better picture of now. Good, thank you. Currently building 2 fish van kits. Excellent. And a slightly overscaled van. Nah, it's fine. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean at all. Of course, this does sit with my O gauge on top of my display cabinets, looking pretty. It's very much meant to be, and it's slightly more accurate for the Cavell van than this kit, which is the K's kit. So quite old. But, you know, it'll be close enough by the time we're done with it. Doing alright, been enjoying a day of chilling out. I approve of a day of chilling out. Aiming to have a train of fish for my V2 to pull, with the amount being 20 wagons. Excellent. That's not your question, Sophia. That's reserved for Alexander. But yeah, so I've got my Remembrance plaque, which I took off a black and white photo of the loco and coloured in. And you can see, if you get close, it's quite pixelated. Of course, the real one of these now is at the Bluebell Railway, hanging on a wall. I could get a decent picture of that to replace that with at some point. Not a full-size one, though. It was quite big. But that would be more of a dull brass colour than a nice, shiny, bright gold colour that I coloured it in. So yeah, this is the K's kit for the PMV. A few 3D printed parts to go with it. I bet no one can guess what these are from. No one at all will be able to work it out. Had a look at Hatton's after getting an email about SR Genesis coaches, but my wallet cried. Have to save money for the 009 Huntlet. Yeah, that's fair. I know a good place to get 009 Huntlets from cheap. What? Shilling already? Of course. When don't I shill? 3D print one. I mean, not a terrible idea, Christopher. Not a terrible idea at all. Where is the camera trying to focus on right now? That's a bit better. Bought my first railway related kit this week. Ooh, do tell. What was that? What was that? Happy to design one to print if you DM me a scan. Ooh. Well now. That is very interesting. I might take you up on that. And I can get a few pictures of the real thing as well, since it's down the road. Yay for non-terrible ideas. Well, yeah, first time for everything, eh? I've had the Cad Green one pre-ordered with Dundas model since November 19. That's no good. Don't give me excuses. Just order it from my shop instead. I promise to deliver just as quickly, maybe. By which I mean, if you order now, you might get it by 2025. So yeah, this is the case kit for the PMV, which is, it's got the opening car carrying end doors, which the Cavell van does not. It has much more traditional SECR style van ends. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at this earlier, thinking, oh yeah, they could be good as replacement ends. I wonder where my kit of the van is, and I can steal the ends from that. Sat here for about 5 minutes before realising. Yeah. Brain power was good today. Can guarantee Train Times is a good shop to order from. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it. Got my Dino coach from the shop, yes, and it was I was quite impressed at the speed it got delivered to you, actually, from me posting it out. Ratio 710 MR Suburban coach, £6. Couldn't say no. That's a good price. And they are a nice kit to build. I don't think I've done any of the ratio coaches on YouTube before, but I have built a few of them, and they are nice builds. They can be Brightonised reasonably easy, which might be more appropriate for, say, the Isle of Wight. Ideally, you want the bogies from the LNWR kit, because they are Fox bogies. You want to flip the soul bars the other way up when you mount it, because that gives you essentially a lower footboard on the soul bar. That's about it, actually, on that one. Yeah, that is all you want to do to that one. You get a nice Brighton style coach. Just saying, look really good on the Isle of Wight as that. Just had a look at the website. Only 0098 items comes up set buffers, unless I'm being big dumb wrong brain. No, we don't have much 009 in stock because we don't get a lot of call for it. So there's basically nothing there. But that doesn't mean I can't get it for you and give you better prices. I will always give you better prices. You know how to contact me. Hydration, important, everyone. Especially when you talk constantly and sit in a warm room. And good evening, Linny. How are you? I hope you are well. Notice our Parkside now might have to order more through your shop. They are indeed Parkside now. With it all being under the Pico brand, Pico are trying to rationalise the ranges, so all the rolling stock kits are going to become Parkside, the building kits will become Ratio. I think is the plan, although all the stuff that's already Pico branded, like the Pico Wonderful Wagons bits that are still available, are keeping the Pico branding. Pretty sleepy, and you? I'm not bad, actually. Not bad at all. So, and good evening, Alexander, and good evening up Ellen onwards. How are you both? I hope you are well. I'm not bad, actually. I'm Lenny. What's worse is I've been doing that all day. I still didn't get it when you said it there. Do I see a Baltic tank? You do see a Baltic tank. That is my scratch-built Brighton L-Class Remembrance to sit in the background of our Remembrance stream. It has been a project on the live stream before. Possibly only paint and finishing. Complete with all my own transfers. What did you use to scratch build the loco? It is built out of brass. So if I grab it off quickly. Oh, I painted everywhere, but it is all, see, nice and thin. It is brass. That is the only bit that's not brass is the boiler, which came off a Flying Scotsman. Had its fittings moved around, as you could probably tell from the way that fits in there. But it is all sheet brass that I did a terrible job of in places. Right, thank you. Currently on my way back home from Eastbourne / Bexhill. Bizarre place now. Oh god, Eastbourne? Why would anyone go there? Ugh, weird. Especially on a Sunday. The shop's not even open on a Sunday. So everyone been building or buying kits today? I haven't. I've been painting a model, but it's RTR. Well, not ready for me to run, hence the repaint. It's more modelling than I've done. I've been busy doing other stuff today. Got to build a ground signal box and a Grizzly articulated twin set. Oh, that'll be fun. Are they from kits or are they bashing stuff about or what? But yes, plastic kit building tips always available. Another good person for plastic kit building tips, of course, is Christopher there at Christopher's Hobby Blog. Don't think he's doing any more of that on his channel, but he's certainly very good at it. And yes, as the bot says, remember to smash that like button or give it a gentle tap. Whilst you're there, make sure you subscribe and press the notification bell for more. We have passed over 650 subscribers now, which is absolutely insane. You absolute weirdos. I don't know why you're here, but I appreciate it. Open a no scale NER A4. And it's like I opened a kit, several parts missing, I'll have to make replacements because they claim no replacement parts available. Well, that sucks. But, you know, you've said the magic words. My O-scale A4's a bit like a kit as well, Andy. I can't imagine why. Just for those that were thrown by my O-gauge van, there's an O-gauge A4 as well. Which is at some point going to get a complete strip down and start again. Because I'm a much better modeller now than I was when I last looked at that. Both are plastic kits, and the Grizzly twin set are hard to find kits. I think they're Ian Kirk. Aha, yes. Yes. They are very nice kits to build, I do believe. OB, just need to film them. Thank you for the shout out, sir. There we go. So, you want to have a look at Christopher's Hobby Blog for some plastic kit building tips as well. He's very good at it and he's going to film some. So, get on with that, Christopher. And good evening, Lewis. How are you? I hope you are well. Tempted to buy anything last kit, but over $200 for a kit. Might as well wait for Hornby's coronation. Yeah. Yeah, that's not cheap, is it? But I do believe they're good quality kits. Looks like you need some parts as well. Indeed, I do, don't I? I've actually got all the parts. I've got a full loco's worth of parts. I just need to make them be in the right places. So that is how far I got through my build many years ago now. I feel bad because I got a bit of an O-gauge following on RMWeb when I was building that, and then I just went silent on them. That was so when I first got ill, started building that just before I got ill. Haven't picked it back up since. So I'll have to get on with that. Hydration is still important. For Hornby's full LNL Coronation West Riding set, might set me back over £1,000. RTR will probably be worth it though. Just saying. So yes, a van to build. Build this one. Get some paint on this one. Transfers on this one. Don't think we'll get transfers on this one tonight, but I do have them. Look at me coming fully prepared. Aren't you all surprised? Yes, me too. I actually don't have any water out for the transfers, but that just means I can get some warm water when they are needed. So yeah, so discuss. These are completely the wrong ends. The only option with these would be full replacement, and that's not happening right now. Because I don't have the ends to replace them with. No Hornby fitted with lights, but I hope the Beavertail Hornby does not do the only one couple of screw up they did on the Pullman observation cars. I mean, with Hornby, you never know. And I am very well this evening, thank you, Lewis. How are you? So whilst they're wrong, at the minute the sides are wrong, as these vents here did not appear until later. Details on the door are terrible as well, and looking at the 7mm one makes it worse for me. But we're going to cut these vents off. We're going to score through the lines for the planking, and it'll all be good. And to do this, I actually probably want to put... in fact, I definitely want to put a fresh blade in here. Just realised I had a mini Hornby rant after that. That's alright. We have Hornby rants here occasionally. Do not worry about that. For those that haven't seen it before, yeah, I'm never short on blades for this knife. Even as the collection starts to thin down a bit. With their current prices, can't blame me. Well, unfortunately, I think that's the way all the prices are going to go. As a retailer, I get to say stuff like that and disappoint everyone. I'd be very surprised if that wasn't where all the prices ended up. I just wish that Hornby could match the quality of other people who are charging those prices. Of course, as a retailer, I stock a lot of second hand for exactly that reason. So yeah, so the first thing I've got to do, remove these vents that were not there in the period we want to represent this van. Of course, the Cavell van was the first of the Southeastern and Chatham PMVs, built in 1919. And the name comes from the fact that it carried Edith Cavell's body from Dover to London for her state funeral on her repatriation to the UK. Edith Cavell, of course, being a First World War nurse who was executed for treason by the Germans. Changing work, losing hours next week. I'm at the main branch, so I've got to be careful on my phone. Ooh, wow. Don't get caught being naughty and watching live streams instead of working. I'll understand very much if you drop out very rapidly. And so yeah, I've had this kit for a while, and I've always planned to backdate it into this van, and the O-gauge one has always been planned to be this van too. It's actually preserved at the Kent and East Sussex for anyone that wants to see it. Boss is the company's namesake. Oh god, really don't want to get caught then. And being its history, Remembrance Day live stream seemed the appropriate time to do it. I'm just very gently scraping this away. We don't want to go too deep. And as you can see from these coming off, if we can get some focus, the van very much is blue shiny plastic. Whilst it doesn't look quite right on camera, it is quite a close representation of BR blue. Exactly, Thomas. I got to sing that earlier as a reference because someone said something about being blue. Oh, that's it. We were playing Pokemon Go. And someone I was with said about us all being on the blue team. So we got to sing Eiffel 65. I'm on Team Blue as well. I'm on. Excellent. That's the best team to be on. Of course, anyone that knows me from my pre-O'Kill as my username days would be not in the slightest bit surprised by the fact I'm on Team Blue. Or in fact, anyone who plays Xbox with me these days. Not sure I like Blanche's redesign in Pokemon Go. I don't like any of the redesigns, actually. I think they all looked better before. It's funny because I'm with a friend who's on Team Red and has taken over gym. I'll purposely take it back over. I mean, I take all gyms all the time anyway. There was a group of 6 of us out earlier, just raiding and taking gyms. It's great. Also, I've just realised of all the things that I got down, you know, got this down from the display, got this down from the display, and got this down from the display for the sake of this Remembrance live stream. I've got some World War One railway service badges up here that I left just kind of sat up there. Brighton one and a South Eastern and Chatham one. No, stand up a bit. You don't want to be sat on the bench. I think I'm not Jim then. Hello, not Jim. But yeah, I can't. Ow! Don't stab yourself in the leg with a knife. In fact, put the knife down before putting things in the bin, then you won't stab yourself in the leg with the knife. Keep the red stuff inside. That is the plan. And of course, there would be a lot of red stuff if I did it with this one, now that it's got a nice sharp blade on it. Clash with the blue. It would indeed, and in fact, just to go with that, I am wearing blue socks and blue jeans and a blue t-shirt, and now a blue bracelet. Also, I cut up this blue van because I'm blue. Dabba-dee, dabba-die. Might make for a good SECR lake though. Nah, it'd be too thin to use as a paint. It comes out of me. Don't you see how thin Humbrol number 20 comes out? Humbrol number 20, Scarlet. Mine actually isn't too bad. Oh no, it's number 60 I use. But yes, Crimson. Okay, it's Crimson, is it? Whatever, close enough. Red. Maybe 60 is the Scarlet, and that's why I'm thinking Scarlet, because that comes out all right, and it's the one I use. Hydration is important. You don't actually expect me to know all the Humbrol paint colours, do you? What do you take me for? A Humbrol stockist? Put 5 coats of Humbrol 20 on top of red oxide to get a decent Crimson Lake finish. I mean, we'll be using Phoenix Precision Crimson. So yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, you're not wrong, Thomas. I am indeed a Humbrol stockist. But I'm the sort of Humbrol stockist that looks it up on the has access to the internet and looks up colours when people ask me about them. Yellow is the nicest Humbrol colour. I mean, their yellow isn't appalling. Lily's just been sick though, either for Phoenix paint or for Humbrol yellow. Who knows? Why not both and all that? So this one now just needs its planking scoring in. Which, ironically, we want a slightly duller blade for. So I'm going to cut the ones off this one instead. And in doing so, we'll either destroy this blade, snap the end off it, or we'll swap back to the other one afterwards. See, I do have a plan. I just sometimes seem like I don't have a plan because I don't actually have a plan. Don't tell anyone, it's a big secret. The gasp is now. See, I don't know how bad my lag is. So is the gasp because I have a plan or because I don't have a plan? Because you don't have a plan, and because I'm Paul. I mean, hi Paul, I'm Gary. You should probably stop your name being Linny if you're Paul. Delicious, nutritious plans. It's exactly what Paul would say. You are not wrong. If only I had one. Using all the Paulisms today. Yeah, apparently so. Plan, but I yeeted it. Oh, you feeling all right, Lily? I only came up with this plan because Alexander came in the shop the other day and was talking PMVs. And there was a joke, and I made a joke about having one ready on stream to bring out. And I thought, hang on, do I have a PMV? I'm like, yes, of course I have a PMV. It's like, oh my god, that's a brilliant idea to do on Sunday night. Literally how that conversation went. Did I just say Saturday? I feel like I said Saturday, but I'm also a bit dumb, so who knows? Definitely didn't mean it if I did. Previously motorised vampires, I didn't know they had motors in them. Well, they don't anymore. See? Well, they're previously motorised. They're not anymore. You must listen to what you say, Thomas, and you'll understand better. Really digging into my finger this night. Not good, that. I should probably hold it better. But I feel like it's more likely to slip the further back. When I'm operating this closely to my thumb, I don't actually want to slip. Because I assure you, from experience, the tip of the thumb is a stream-ending injury. There we are. Yeah, could listen to myself, but according to market research, I'm not worth listening to. Well, as long as the market research has been done, who can argue, eh? I'd love to believe the market research says the same about me, but over 650 of you disagree. I mean, I realise out of 8 billion people, that's not a lot. So out of how many I thought would come and watch this, it's the equivalent of 8 billion people, honestly. Bit mind-blowing. And so, back to the slightly duller blade with its tip missing. And we're going to put some score marks through there. Turn the blade upside down and run the back of it through them, which gives us a much nicer plank line shape. See? All good. Even better if we actually clean up the edges. Are they perfect? No. Are they good enough for my modelling? Yes. And it really is that simple. Now it has planks. As I say, not perfect, but good enough for me. We never attacked this side with the file, I can tell, because it's not quite there yet. I would love to tell you I get that reference, Thomas, but I don't. Oops, I just bought a wagon kit. Oh, Linny, how very silly. What wagon kit did you buy? Also, that wagon kit clearly isn't those carriages I sent you links to the other day. So, you know, you should be buying those. Not wagon kits. It isn't those carriages which are a bit modern for my layout. I don't see the relevance of a bit modern. This wasn't built until 1919. Hang on, Gary, don't you have some form of VR setup, or am I misremembering again? I do have some form of VR setup. I have a Lenovo something or other VR headset. Can't remember what the Lenovo one's called, but you know, it does the same thing as the Oculus and all those other more well-known ones. The wagon kit is a Pico Wonderful Wagon. Aha! Which one? Do tell. The box tells me hydration is important. My cup is empty. Best refill it. No idea what it's called, but it does the same job, doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm amazed you've not had a go on Job Simulator yet. So I use it for Derail Valley mainly, and The Walking Dead. Hydration is important, everyone. I noticed the microphone seems to be picking up a lot more background noise than normal according to the bars tonight. Is it actually bad, or is it just the bars overreacting? Well, that one went appallingly. Sounds fine to me. Excellent, thank you. I know they can be a bit oversensitive at times. Understandable, but yeah, so long story short, in Job Simulator it's a load of floaty TVs, and when they say something nice, randomly blurt out a word in a robotic sounding voice, despite using regular voices for the rest of the game. Aha! Didn't notice the noise until you mentioned it. Still semi-deaf from the hello. Are you saying you need me to do it again to re-deafen you to the background noise? So those bars are definitely jumping to the background a lot more, but being on this side, I can't tell how loud that really is. I did warn you to block those ears. You did indeed, Sophia. And good evening, Cavell Studios. How are you? I hope you are well. Oh wow, that went really bad. These are some dodgy shaped planks, I tell you. That one's just full of splits and knots and stuff. That's what we'll say. It's old, you see. This is the side that will face away from us. There's always a solution. All I hear is modelling sounds. Well, I do occasionally hear a buzz, but it's infrequent enough to tune it out. Rustic, I think we call it. Yeah, exactly, Paul. Rustic. You can hear craft adds to the ambience. Okay, so me doing stuff, I'm quite. That's fine for you to hear. What worries me is that it seems to be picking up the occasional noises coming from my water system and my fridge and stuff, which, in the grand scheme of things, are not that far away from here. And I expect if I click the mouse, it's going to pick that up as well. Let's see. That jumped really high when I was clicking the mouse there. Clicky goodness. Exactly, clicky goodness. Still, more than I'd like of it. Still important, this hydration. So yeah, we have reached the point where we're actually ready to start putting it together. Only just heard the mouse, sounding more like a keyboard than a mouse. I mean, when I'm in here, it is the touchpad on the laptop, so understandable. When I'm not in here and I have more space, it's a Razer Death adder. Because gaming laptop, gaming mouse. But yeah, we want to start putting this back together. It's quite well built, this was, until it came apart. This is the good side. So we have some white metal W ions that fit on the back just like that. Look at they hold themselves. Of course, they don't really, but being white metal to plastic, they get super glued. I mean, it wasn't typical high-pitched clicky click you expect to hear. Yeah, no, it's not high-pitched at all. On here, it's quite a low noise that the laptop one makes. I should arrow dye these. I should. We all know it's true, so aralditis is. If a job's worth doing, it's worth waiting the 6 years that it'll take the araldite to dry. And besides, it's not like we don't have anything else we can do if it does take forever to dry. Frantically looks around for his stirring stick. No, really, where is it? Hey there, L section plastic, you'll do. The question isn't should, the question is will you do it, because we can all say we should do something, but will we actually do it is the main question. Well, yes, and I'd like to think the fact I'm mixing the araldite answers the question of whether I will use araldite or not. I say this will do, it might not actually, it feels quite flimsy, but there we go. Needs a new stirry stick. Preferably not a wooden one this time. Although once these are on now with the araldite, they're never coming off again. Luckily, they align themselves quite well. Partly because they've been on here before and there's residue. But also partly because there's locator lugs and stuff. Yep, that's what we wanted to happen, was for that to just fall off. See, there we are. Finished van already. What do you mean you don't believe me? How could you say such a thing? I should say these PMVs in their later version are available ready to run. I don't think they are in SECR condition. But in the later condition, with the vents that we've just removed, they're definitely available, ready to run. Hornby of all people. And there's probably a kit for them in as-built version. But I don't have that, at least not in 4mm. I've got Roy Slater's one in 7mm. As I say, this is a K's one. And I'm sure, being a K's product, many of them have been built and modified like this over many years. Well, that definitely goes on this end, I can tell, because the end of the carriage came off with it. And there's a link to the website for anyone interested in seeing the website. It's a good website. I made it. Need to update it sometime. Maybe do a new blog post. What should I do a blog post about, everyone? Kit built SECR one. See, so they do exist. I'm guessing Ratio, Parkside, one of the Pico owned brands do it in 4mm. That would be my assumption anyway. I think the Midland Railway had a few of those vans they converted into carriages. I do believe you're right, yes. At least something similar, if not actually these. Hydration's still important. I am going to frantically look round for a container, because of course I've lost all my containers. Loads and loads of lids, no container though. And go and get some warm water. So I'll leave you with some music and a slideshow. Back in a minute. And I do that returning thing. That's right, I'm not saying it, you can't get me. We have a little glass dish, because I couldn't find any of my usual plastic containers, with a little bit of warm water in. And we have some transfers. Which might not be water slides, actually. Thinking about it. The other ones are water slides. Oh yeah, and some buffers. I've got a feeling these ones might be either meths or press fits. I need to go grab the instructions and double check before I go putting water on them. That would be very, very, very silly. And I'm back again. With a box full of paperwork, because that's apparently all that's in here. And none of them mention what type. Oh, wait, there we go. They are indeed meths transfers. And I don't have any meths, so we won't be doing those. But we've got the card or end versions for the big one as well. But it's definitely not getting them. And all those vents I just cut off. There we go. I knew as soon as I'd said it what was going to happen. So yeah, they're meths fits. They won't like me putting water on them. They certainly won't stick. And whilst I have industrial chemicals and stuff, I don't have meths. So we won't be transferring up the 7mm one tonight. That explains why I've not done it. So we'll put the lid back on that and pretend that it never happened. But I think the araldite might be dry, you know, since I can now use this like a puppet. Yeah, look at that, nice and solid. And so I turn to get the plastic weld, and where's the plastic weld gone? I don't know who told you I was prepared or had a plan, but they were a liar. There's the plastic weld. Where's the plastic welds brush? It's here with the paint brushes. Of course it is. Where else would it be? So we can actually build up the van now. I mean, I say that as if I'm not going to do anything else to it, but I am. You know I am. Why would I say something and mean it, eh? We're going to cut out the remnants of the old floor. Which are not putting up much of a fight. Erecting the CCT, engineering French sounds. Of course, taking this floor, the remnants of this floor out, will make it easier to put a new one in. I also noticed no one earlier guessed where my extra detail parts came from. And I'm very disappointed in all of you. These ones, they look familiar. Do they look familiar, do they, Linny? I cannot imagine why. Hello again, Lewis. I'm still doing well. How are you doing? That's 3 times now. Didn't even realise they weren't part of the kit. My brain does the silly, but they certainly look like nice replications of brake shoes. They are indeed brake shoes. Brake shoes and a brake cylinder. And I have another set of brake shoes for the other wheels. Whether the kit came with them originally or not, I don't know, but as it was when I got this one, it did not have them. And so I sourced replacements from somewhere else. Good, thanks. Sorry, my phone was playing up, so I come out of YouTube and come back in again. Fair enough. I hope your phone's all right now. And I'm glad to hear you are good. Right. Now we can start building it up again. We go. If we can work on the alignment, that gets in there quite nicely. I didn't see cylinder. At least we know the wagon will be complete and not missing much. At least not unless certain modeller who was in the magazines decides to scrutinise underneath. It's going to be missing all its brake. Well, at least some of its brake rigging. It needs some new trusses made up because it didn't have any of those. But who knows how that will go. I hear the UK tried it and it didn't end well. Too soon. But you say too soon, I'm going to get told off by the mods. Breaking the rules. For which I would argue I was just stating facts. And there we are, 2 L-shaped pieces ready to be joined together. I reckon I probably want to get the wheels in at this stage as well. That's that's what I expected to happen. But yes, I'm glad you think so, Thomas. Absolutely flawless model in this. See, the problem is, I reckon if I don't get these in now, there's not going to be enough give to get them in later. Farm van being really difficult. Yeah, it is. Love me a good pun. There we go. I reckon we've got a van body there. Absolutely flawless. Have to be ruthless with it then. Oh dear. We've got a van body. Now, what's the betting? Gary will fit the roof and realise he has to take it off to fit the floor. I had no intention of fitting the roof just yet. I'll have you know. I'm glad I managed to hit the mute button in time before I sneezed there. I'm not so glad that I bit my tongue. That hurts. Don't bite your tongue, everyone. Yeah, exactly. And that's why the roof's not on this one yet, Linny, because I don't forget these things and fit roofs and need to take them off 100 times. Never done that in my life, don't know what you mean. We're going to use the best method of measuring here. I don't know why I'm actually turning the van round to do this when it really doesn't need it. And no, I don't recommend anyone else does this. A, without a cutting mat. B, without measuring. And of course there's a slight lump at the bottom, meaning it's very slightly too long. Because why wouldn't there be? I was about to look like I knew what I was doing. So about the wheels. But there we go. Would it be true modelling if there wasn't a lump in the road somewhere? No, it's not a lump in the road, it's a lump in the side of the van. So I reckon it's got enough give for those wheels to go in and out, you know. I reckon putting the floor in will end that and it won't have enough give anymore. Just getting that in there now. You're tempting fate. No, I'm Gary. Oh, well that's a good reason for you to have fallen out. But there we go, and as I put the lid back on the glue, it is just reaching 10:30. It's about the midpoint of the live stream, and you know what I say at this point, don't you, everyone? Before Sophia jumps in and steals it. What are we all up to this evening? I do love to hear about it. Please do tell. What projects have you got on the go? What games are you playing? Give me all the gossip about your lives, because I enjoy hearing it. Planning a Raspberry Pi project. Do tell. This is intriguing, Thomas. Back to working on the CAD for SWR 380 Class 448 tender. Aha. So Linny is having a riveting good time. And yes, Bob, you are quite right. Hydration is indeed important. I'm trying to do some research on Batman characters to write a story as a gift to a friend. Well, don't forget to include the most important Batman character in there, Paul. Just steamed Betsy for the first time. Oh, hello. This is what I like to hear. Love me some Betsy action. So basically an old portable TV came into the charity shop, so I bought it and gutted it, measured the screen size in the shop, and yeah, going to make what is commonly known as a cyber deck. Interesting. Doing computer stuff, installing Teams and Office. Oh, fun. I remember when that was my job. I much prefer my current job. There we go. In a way, it's a good thing that the wheels fell out, because I wouldn't have got these in with the wheels in. Got to do a customer service course starting tomorrow. Oh, have fun. There we go, wheels in. So now we'll be able to line up the brakes properly. Something a bit like that. And get some super glue on them. It's inspired by a video I saw where there was this Bluetooth speaker game thing and someone converted it to a cyber deck, but I wanted something a bit more classic looking but yet modern. No, that sounds really cool, Thomas. Bit of pair of Slater's D299 wagon kits and put the 3D printed buffers on my Cambrian dancehall brake. Aha! You're ahead of me on the 299s then. I still haven't built mine. And another tattoo tomorrow. Well, hey. Anything exciting? It's annoying job role I don't want, and was planning a trip to Train Times Eastbourne on Wednesday. Well, you will certainly be missed at Train Times, but job's a job and money's money, let's be honest. In the current climate, not to be scoffed at. There we are, some brakes on that end. pop a link to the video I'm on about in Discord. Might pop it under useful links. I think that's the right place. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, talking of which, Discord. Way Discord. And I mean, maybe that's probably the place for it, Thomas. Either there or works chatter, you know. Either or is good, and always linking to the Discord is good. Because people should definitely come and join us on the Discord. Coming to the shop anyway for a real customer service course. I mean, we definitely do some form of customer service there. Plus, no employer could complain that you're learning how to shill as well as me. Now, it's not quite right. But it's what I'm going to call close enough. What kit is this one? Good evening, Will. This is a K's kit for the Chatham PMV. It's a, you know, understandably old kit being K's. And he's getting some extra detail added that I stole off another kit. But that alone makes the underframe look a bit better. You can barely see the brakes hidden behind everything, but they're there. The vacuum cylinder's there. There you go. You can see the brakes better on this side. I need some queen posts and some trussing adding. And I think that's where we'll leave the extra detail. Wait, this is K's kit? I thought it was old parts like it. It is indeed an old K's kit. Probably can't see it now. Let's look for it. There we go, look. There's the K's logo. Just on the inside. It's actually quite heavy now that it's got the white metal and the wheels on. Now I had some bits here I was going to use for my trussing. I had some plastic rod to do the queen posts and some brass to do the trussing with. Welcome to Gary is Always Prepared. A show all about sarcasm. The problem, you see, is that I tidied up in here the other day and I can't find anything since. Well, there's the brass. I wonder if I could probably use that thicker brass. Brass and brass, that's what we're going with. That means I could technically do some soldering. Not gunning, but could. On this, you see, you have to come down. to about the bottom of the steps. So we'll cut a couple of bits of that to the same length. Oh yeah, the old TV I've got to sand it down massively. It looks like someone blew smoke directly at it for 30 years, but considering I want to paint it black anyway, it's kind of handy. I mean, something of that age, it's probably a good idea to sand it down anyway, honestly. So there's one post in. And there's the other. So they are now ready for trusses to be added each side. As I say, hopefully this goes well. I hear the UK tried it and it did not go too well. Got to remember to make my cuts for ports and such before I paint it. Don't fancy having whitish plastic showing through, at least not unless I want it to. Well, no, that wouldn't be ideal, would it? That's quite a nice angle, that's what we're after. I just need to fight it into place now. And actually cut a little bit off the end of this one because of how it's sitting. Perfect. So there we have the trussing on one side, not sitting quite evenly. That's better. And as I say, what I could do here is just drop a blob of solder on the end there to hold the brass to the brass. Probably not a terrible idea to do that. To be cut down a little bit more. And in fact, that side is a little bit too long, and they're just catching on the backs of the axle guards. Probably would be a good idea, but not guaranteed to be the best idea, although I reckon you'll get it done practically perfectly. I will do my best not to melt everything. That'd be a very dramatic way to end the live stream, wouldn't it? Just accidentally melting the kit. And I have turned the soldering iron on now, and it's all heated up. So I guess we best do it. Even if it's becoming very awkward to get the flux applicator out of the flux. And of course, when it comes to things like brass, the strongest way to connect them is with a bit of solder, so there's one. There's 2. Nice. And solid. And looking a lot better than the basically 0 underframe detail it came with, if I do say so myself. Which, evidently, for those wondering, I do. So we shall put the brass away. So that's much better. Just a little bit. So the trusses, the little bit of the brake cylinder you can see there. Even though you can't see the brakes from this angle, it's just much better, isn't it? Looks much more like a real railway vehicle. And is now all nice and solid. So what that means the next step is, don't you? Got to get some paint on it. Just gonna put the plastic world brush back on the plastic world. And discover just how bad this tin of paint is. I really should have got some more whilst I was up at Uckfield and Roxy was there. That's not too bad, actually. If anything, that might be a bit thick. What can I paint some of you on? I know, over here. I might be imagining the too thick thing. This is the worst side. Let's start with this and find out. Yes, I definitely think I was imagining it. Because I'm losing precisely 0 detail here. If I show you that up close, you can see that's covering wonderfully. So yeah, I think this has been, so far, given we've got just over an hour left, quite a successful Remembrance weekend build. Where's Alexander and his questions when you need him, eh? So I'm going to call it a night. Okay, Linny, thank you for coming. Great to have you here, as always. Enjoy many sleeps. And I'm sure I shall speak to you in the morrow. Started building my Airfix Hawker Typhoon 1B today. Oh, excellent, Lewis. And how is it going? Do tell. Do tell. So yeah, it is. So I think a fitting project that has gone as well as Mr. Kipling's cakes. And I am rather happy with the progress. I'm rather happy with the details that we've added to the bottom that weren't there before. We could go a lot further on detailing the underframe. I'm not going to. But it would be possible. It's still very, very low detail still, but better than it was. There's all the brake rigging that could be run for starters to join the brakes to the cylinders. And in fact, my 7mm one does indeed have proper rigging across here, all the proper rigging at the brakes. It just needs a single run adding all the way across, and that will have all the fittings. Of course, what would have been really good to get done would have been replacement ends. But unfortunately, I don't have any, and it was only today that I noticed the kit had the wrong ends. So that's all my fault. Otherwise, I could have ordered another Cambrian kit to get the ends from. Quite well, not completely finished. Me and my dad are just building the cockpit controls first. Well, that is always the place where these kits start. So yeah, we're ignoring that these are completely the wrong ends for this van. They won't be seen once it's in a train anyway. At least that's the theory. And as I say, the prototype for this van, number 132, is at the Kent and East Sussex Railway, so you can go down and see it. Or up, depending on where you are in the country. And it is done up. Or at least according to their website is. I don't know that it still is. I assume it is done up as it was to carry Edith Cavell's body, complete with a coffin inside it. Which is, you know, not how you often see preserved vehicles presented. Definitely looks better for not being in this blue colour. Not sure who would want logos in this and stock in this blue colour. Absolutely preposterous. Crimson Lake is a much nicer colour for rolling stock. In this case, Purple Lake, in fact, isn't it? What livery is that? It's going into South Eastern and Chatham livery, Lewis. This is very much a remembrance vehicle for me. It's slightly too late for any of my layouts. So it's known as the Cavell van because it carried Edith Cavell's body. It also carried the body of the unknown soldier. So quite an important van from the remembrance point of view. I'm sure someone will jump in at some point and tell me it carried someone else as well. Carried someone else as well. But and who was that someone else, Andy? Do enlighten the class. Yeah, see, thought you were being smart. Now you've got to go find out if it really did and who. I feel seen. Yeah. So here's the thing. It did carry someone else, and I know who. But now that's your homework, Andy. Reasonably easy to find. Thousands of miles away. Yeah, but the info's on the internet. In fact, I'm pretty sure the info is on Wikipedia. Which is probably closer to you than it is to me. Thought the military kept files of all of the soldier's name and rank, so in a way I'm a bit confused with not knowing who the unknown soldier was. Well, of course they kept details of name and rank. I mean, it's not really an image I want to conjure up, Lois, but I mean, there's a good chance we do actually now know who the unknown soldier was. But at the time, you see, in war, because war is hell, it is quite possible for a body to get mangled to a point that it is unrecognisable. And therefore, the person would be unknown. See, didn't take you long, did it, Andy? Well done. And good evening, Kyle. How are you? I hope you are well. And there we are. First coat of paint all over the body. Good, hope you are as well. I am very well, thank you. Over Thinners. Move that back out of the way for a minute. They're running late, but I had a lad, but the lad has been busy. I hope all are well tonight. Good evening, Javier. How are you? I hope you are well. You are indeed running late, and I've basically built a whole vehicle. Is that the brass car you're showing how to solve a while back? No, this is a plastic kit that we started tonight and is now running. This is the Southeastern Chatham PMV that carried Edith Cavell's body back from Dover to London for her state funeral in World War One. But speaking of that, before even that, hydration is important. To approve for the whole vehicle, half a vehicle is not as fun. Indeed. But yes, speaking of the brass ones, I've got a loco for them now. I was going to bring it in here, but I forgot, so I'll go get it. Back in a second. I am indeed going to paint the interior. The interior will be cream because that is the interior, how the interior currently is. So, obviously we are building in the main series at the moment. The London, Chatham and Dover four-wheelers. And so what we need for them is a London, Chatham and Dover engine. And so what we have is a London, Chatham and Dover R1 looking very smart, even if the livery is honestly in need of redoing. But it's got sprung buffers to keep certain model railway YouTube channels happy. It's got proper scale couplings to keep me happy, and it runs brilliantly. So I picked that up the other day for our four-wheelers rake that we're building at the moment. And I do think it will look fantastic with them all behind it. I'm rather looking forward to seeing that. And it's SECR to keep me happy. It's an R1 to keep you happy, Sophia. Okay, I'm looking forward to the Worley Model Railway Exhibition, the NEC Birmingham on 26th and 27th of November. Ah, well, I will not be there. There is at least one other person that appears in this chat that will be there. Can't tell you who, though. You'll have to find out when you get there. They'll have a name tag on, so they'll be easy to spot. So I hope you have a good time at Worley, and I hope you come back and tell me all about it the following weekend, because I will love to hear about it. The locomotive in the back is my Brighton L-Class Remembrance, which has been a previous Remembrance weekend project on this channel, getting it lined out and named and stuff. That was done live with my own designed transfers. Not sure I'd do the same now for white, black, white, but there we go. I needed to do the number and name to get the font right. So I did the lot. And was very happy with it. Still need a tea class though. Yes, I'll sort of tea at some point. More of a coffee person myself, but there we go. So sprung buffers, unless it's a railroad tooling, I do think modern tool locos in the expensive lines should really have sprung buffers by default. I'm not sure they're really necessary in the on models though. The amount of people that actually use them just doesn't seem worth it, if I'm honest. Will do. Excellent. It's not me going to Wally. I don't have a name tag. No, as I say, I know at least one person who's going, who does appear in this chat, and will have a name tag on that matches their YouTube name. Though if certain limitations in design prevent it, I do get why they wouldn't have such certain LBSC loco and the E4 having buffers that stick up a bit into the running board. Just wait on the Terrier front there, Thomas. I might have something. If I can get whatever the 3D printer playing at sorted this week, I may well have something for next week. Sprung buffers are realistic, yes, but they're extra detail parts that don't get used. Won't be me going to Wally, too far for me to travel across the pond. Ah, excuses. We'll have to work on 3D print for a cab on the T. Well, yeah, you're going to have to learn how to CAD, aren't you? And get yourself a laptop capable of it. I'm also not the one going to Wally. Terrible, Andy. What's your excuse? Curious to see how you springy buff for a Terrier. That's certain LBSC loco I was referring to. I know it is. That's why I said it. I'm no fool. Remember, folks, use sprung buffers. Exactly, Lewis. I use sprung buffers because I have couplings that require them. I don't think it's that big a deal for anyone else. It's not an excuse. It sounds like one to me. I do advocate a gaming laptop, but even I'm still working out the funds for such. And if you're going to get a gaming laptop, get an MSI one, because they come with a little plushy dragon. And who doesn't love a little plushy dragon? At some point, this will get opened and taken out of the packet, but I want to find somewhere to put it first, and it's going in here somewhere. Wish I could go to Wally, though, not going to lie, I can't justify the £30 train fare, especially if the strikes keep up, as no my luck, it'll be on the day I plan to go. Yeah, so we were having this discussion in the shop the other day. Going up from Eastbourne, you're looking at having spent £100 before you even get there. Won't be at Wally, could very well be in Eastbourne that weekend. I approve of going to Eastbourne. Much better than Wally. I'm impressed how rapidly you pulled that out of the fourth dimension. It's good, isn't it? Just having that wormhole. It's handy. Unfortunately, it only works very occasionally. It's a good looking paint, this one. Thanks, Hornby. Appreciate it. Oof, indeed. Yeah, it's train for going by car. I mean, car's good as long as you can get parking. Because the parking's reasonably expensive there, isn't it? Paint up the modeler to keep it. Yeah, this is a new blooming pot, pretty much. That's the annoying thing. Like, look, the top still looks nice and neat and shiny. That's how new it is. So a nice bright cream interior. As I say, that's what colour that it is currently, and it is supposedly in the condition it was in when it carried Edith Cavell. So that is the colour I want it to be in for my model. I think the park's like £12 if memory serves from the discussion at club on Wednesday. See? Loads. My white paint has gone funny. Jokes, Lewis. But not gonna lie, Lewis, I hate white paint. No, I mean, I had more than a year. You had it more than a year? This one here has got to be about 20 years old. I bet if I open it, it's still good. And yes, Louis, what I'm saying is I've got paint older than you. Crumbs, I've got t-shirts older than you, Lewis. They don't fit me anymore because I've grown a bit since then. Not upwards, unfortunately. I'm feral everyone at battle stations. I'm not feral. You're just all children. Except for Sophia. Must be the paint's gone on strike, decided that it has a grudge against me. Yeah, it's striking with the RMT. I assume the current strikes are the RMT anyway. And not ASLEF. Oh. You know it was coming, Sophia. The Gary villain arc is here. The Gary villain arc was always here. I've never claimed to be the good guy. It's my 41st birthday in just over 2 weeks, and yet, compared to Sophia, you are just a child. Gary got some pains. Wear the children title proudly. 26. Yeah, see, 26, definitely a child. 2 months, 3 days till I become 27. Child, it's my 18th birthday on Tuesday. I know it was, Lewis, and I keep meaning to ask how your birthday was. But then I get distracted by something else. I do hope you had a good birthday. Hate to be you on Tuesday. Why? Sophia's used to me saying these things about her. She loves it. It's her favourite joke of mine. Currently plotting some kind of revenge on Gary. I mean, I'm not going to say she won't get some sort of revenge. She usually does. My son's 18th was on Friday. Car. Dreading the day that my kids turn 18. Unless they move out that day, then it'd be fine. Steal all the terriers, Sophia. That's the biggest revenge. She'd have to get near them first, Thomas. It's halfway 24. I just saw someone post on it. Machine them a video. Oh wait, no, it hasn't arrived yet. I need to update that because there's another one, but it's still en route. So next week that number will be updated because I should have a parcel tomorrow. It's great. I had 2 shots of tequila and then played darts with my younger brother and girlfriend, and then I ended up with part of the dartboard in my hand. Which part of that was the great part? Make him watch Jenny Kirk's Terry video on constant loop. Fake dartboard on relative rubbish. I've not broken one yet. So the hand's worth of terriers left. Indeed. Make him watch certain other YouTubers instead. Proof of like crazy parcels arriving. Yeah, it's a terrier that you'd approve of as well. It's got a weird shaped bunker on it. But anyway, it's all right, everyone. I might call you all children, but I'm sat here wearing a bracelet made out of loom bands. So yeah. Speaking of great, I think I'm thinking of diving into Western. Don's a bomb diffusing suit. Why would you do that, Javier? Why? They're all the same. They are all identical. So, I need a couple of those extended bunker terriers. Yeah, see, I'll have 3 of them now. Okay, folks, must get ready for work. Catch you all later. Enjoyed. Okay. Good night, Carl. Thanks for coming by. Great to have you here as always. Don't work too hard and all that jazz. I hope to see you next time. 1,057 logos. Yeah. Not the dartboard, although it was funny watching my girlfriend remove her dart from the board and then pulling the ring light off the wall. Disaster, Lewis. They're all the same, so I don't have to put any effort. I mean, that makes sense, but also, no. And if you're actually going to model Great Western, don't do it till after Worley. What? No, I don't know. What? Someone say something. No idea. Didn't hear anything. Good. What was loom bands like? I know what they did and everything, but the hype confused me. It's just rubber bands in it. In fact, bubble wrap thing confuses me. Yeah. Sum up GWR. Digit. XX. No. 57XX. You don't need to say digit. 57XX. That is the Great Western. But yeah, I don't get it either, but I now have a bracelet made out of them, so. Because someone made it for me earlier, and then they put it on my wrist, and that is where it has stayed. Standard number 2 boiler coming right up. That is how the Great Western works. One off, mind you, I plan to dip, not submerge. I mean, you only need a one off with the Great Western. You CAD it once, you print it 1,000,000 times. If it was the early broad gauge, I could get into that. I mean, yeah. I'd find the broad gauge a lot easier to do than anything else Great Western. It has some interest and charm. I probably could do something broad gauge. I used to really like the broad gauge, but my interest in it has waned over the years. Perhaps someone needs to release something ready to run, and that will pique my interest in it again. Hey, Hornby, you want to do a whole new gauge? Great Western broad gauge. No one needs TT 120. But we'll all take some of that Great Western broad gauge. And there we are, inside painted. Now, where did I put the... There. Brock was lethal when throwing darts. I mean, so's anyone else if someone stands in front of them. Early broad gauge does have that attractive wackiness to it. It does. So my interest into it has waned rather over the years, but I could see it being pulled back if someone released a load of it. The Western had some interesting stuff, but it was mainly the tank engines, and even then they were plagued with homework copying syndrome at times. There's no at times about it. They were all the same. Ruining smaller companies' logos by swintonising them. Yeah. They never did that to the Terriers, though, because the Terriers were already perfect before they got them. Just saying. Oh, my cup is empty. And hydration is important. Agreed, I would love a bit of Great Western broad gauge, and all of my brother's darts were thrown at the board so no one was hurt. Can't have been that lethal then. My favourite Western engine though is definitely the 1366 Pannier. Love me a baby Pannier. I mean, if we're going to talk Panniers, Willow Walk Shunters for the win. Hydration is important. And if we're going to talk Great Western Panniers, Willow Walk Shunters for the win. Stay tuned. Oh, really, Killian? Oh, really now? Because, you know, wouldn't mind me a Willow Walk Shunter. You're a bad Killian. By which I mean a very good Killian. Willow Walk Shunter or Willow Walk Shunter? They were used at Brighton's Willow Walk Depot. Bound to be a picture here somewhere. Because I know I've got a picture somewhere. Here we are. There you go, the Willow Walk Shunter. One of them. And in fact, this is post LBSC ownership. This is after they'd sold it off. Because that, very clearly a pannier tank there, went on to become the first type of passenger tanks owned by some company out in the West somewhere. Because you know who didn't invent anything that they're famous for because the Brighton invented it all for them. That's the one I figured. That's one of the few existing photos. Yeah, I think I've got 3 photos in total. And that's probably the lot, isn't it? Ooh, pretty. Yeah, see? See? You'll know. But remember, pannier tanks, that was Craven on the Brighton. Standardisation, that was Stroudley on the Brighton. Slip coaches, that was the Brighton. It was all the Brighton. Well, this one looks no good. I'm gonna say that this isn't the best condition paint I've ever had. Talking of baby panniers, I love that the one Double O'Neill did both versions, but then again, I found just like smaller versions located at all times. I mean, as someone who likes terriers, I can see exactly where you're coming from there. It was me, Stroudley. But yeah, if you think the Great Western was famous for it, no, the Brighton did it first. That's generally how it works. Except for broad gauge, obviously. Now on a tiny terrier. Well, they sell them in N-gauge, just saying. I think I put too much thinner in there. It'll be alright once it's had a chance to break down some of the bigger chunks, but for right now, that's too thin. In flashbacks, that one photo someone posted a while back, the Terry, not that tiny, although I do need track steppers down at some point. I mean, like a shorter version. I knew what you meant. And yeah, it has appeared on the Discord at some point. But yeah, we don't need a pannier terrier, have we? Yeah. Oh, let's not shake that about too much. The lid's not quite sealed. What we're going to do is use this black instead. You have got the correct usage of that command there. Thankfully, it only went on my hand. Now we're just going to completely cover the bottom in black. And everything's going to look better for it. And with 14 minutes to go now. This is the bulk of the painting. We actually need some black bits on the sides. Even I'm not sure if I'm going to get that done because of how not dry the paint is, and we know I'm reasonably good at painting onto things that aren't fully dry. But if we get this to a point that it just needs its transfers and roof sticking on, I will be quite happy. Needs another coat of lake, but you know. I have to get out doing this course. I need some paints. Of course, you may never leave. I mean, yeah, it seems a completely legitimate reason to not have to do it to me. Just tell them your internet's gone down. Can't join, the internet's down. Don't know what it is. The BT man will be out tomorrow to fix it. Works with all online courses, that excuse. Don't forget about removing the wheels before painting the bottom. I plan on never removing the wheels again, Lewis. Can't do it. I have been shielded. Thought it was needing paint because of the stream and jokingly called the stream course because of these online course websites. Oopsie I mean, the stream is a course in how to be the best modeller in the world. Step 1, don't copy me. Gary, you're supposed to do these things so we don't have to. Exactly, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. So you don't copy me. That's the whole point. You learn from my mistakes. And therefore, by watching my mistakes, you can not copy me, not make the same mistakes, be the best modeler in the world. See? More chance of me being a pro modeler than a customer assistant agent. I mean, some of us are both, technically. What you're after there, Andy, is exclamation mark Ralph. Your expectations of my modelling ability is way too high. Well, that's why you come and watch, to learn. Learn how to not do it. Or in some cases, how to do it. Because whilst I joke, I'm actually quite good at this. So. And it's been a long time since I've complimented my modelling, so I get the occasional one. Yeah, I really need to update that commands page. I don't even know if all the ones on there are currently active. And would you believe that? That there is now as far as that one. Not quite true, because that one's had 2 coats of paint, but shush. Interestingly, to my eye, which can see these properly because the camera focus is something I don't have to deal with, the colour on this and the colour on this look completely different. And yet they came out the same pot. But there we have Edith Cavell's van. Just over 100 years ago, carried her body back from Dover to London for her state funeral. One is dry and the other is drier. Is the colour of the plastic different per model? I mean, definitely different colour plastic. This one's in fact been primed. Oops, I gave mine a white roof. So white roof is correct. However, white roofs didn't stay white in service. Especially in that period. They went grey very quickly. So I'm opting for grey. Might be it then lack of primer change in the colour. Oh yeah, it probably is something like that. We really need some lighter colour rolling stock because that's impossible to get the lights on. Unless I like sit at that angle. Which shouldn't be a thing. I should not be able to do that. Definitely wasn't pulled by an L class. But see, look, where do I get decent light on that van? Sort of there, apparently. In a really awkward angle. Super elevated curves, yeah. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. May have to peel some strips from mine for colour. Throw roof dirt on mine then. Yeah, throw some roof dirt on it. So the real one has a white roof now. This one will probably end up with a white roof, honestly, because it's more of a display piece than an actual usable model. Oh, thank you, Bot, for reminding everyone. That is very important. These are going teak, so these will be quite light, heavier, and we'll be back on those next week. The question is, how long will it take me to finish this van? Will it be our Remembrance project next year? Because I still haven't got round to it. Hydration is important. So it could easily be finished in one more stream. It needs another coat of paint and some transfers. The thing is, a couple of years ago, we did Remembrance the Loco. Now, we did 2 streams where we lined it and lettered it. That was the project, was finish Remembrance. I still haven't done it. There's a reason it's always this way round when anyone sees it. Oh yeah, and glazing, but glazing comes last. In fact, once the glazing's in, it needs some bars, because there should be bars behind the windows as well. But that's why we have the brass. in a tube. See? Got it all planned out, me. Well, Gary, get on with it. I mean, I'd love to get on with it, Thomas. But as it happens, it is midnight, everyone. We are out of time. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I've had an absolutely fantastic time building this van, getting it painted. So, you know, I've been Gary, this has been Let's Build. You've been awesome as always. Good night.